and welcome to this meeting of the Radford and Custom House Committee. Agenda item 1, apologies. Are there any, do we have any apologies?
No, Chairman.
No, okay, thank you. Item 2, any declarations of interest? There's a lot of shaking ahead, so I'll take that as no as well, thank you. Item number 3, minutes of the meeting of the 30th of September 2020, which seems like a lifetime away. Can I have, I will propose the meetings. Can I have a seconder, please?
Seconded.
Okay, that's Councillor Christendon. And has anybody got any objection to the minutes? No, so we'll take the minutes as carried. Thank you. We're whizzing through this. Item number 4 is Radford and Custom House report and decide on the future policy. And the council is to decide on this. And can I pass over to you, Richard, to give the, hopefully members have read the report, but give the outline of the report. Thank you.
Can you hear me all right?
Yes.
Right. Okay. Well, you've got the report there. It just gives a potted history of how we came to get hold of Custom House and how we came to get Radford House. The emails I've been getting from various people are, why did we sign up for such a long time on the Custom House, and why wasn't there a break clause? The answer to the first is because we were in Albion House for over 100 years, and you have to think back to what it was like in 2009-10 when we were getting bundled out the door by TDC or strapped up to a deal which wasn't really very good, and Custom House came up, and it was decided by the council that that was the place they wanted to go. My instructions at the time, and David Green was the only other one there, I think, who can confirm if he's about, was just to get a longer lease as possible, because we had no idea how the council was going to go. It did seem a bit of a small place, but it was good enough and has worked out very well for us. So that's what we did. I went out for the maximum lease, which was 120 years. I did instruct them to put in a lease, a break in the clause, but they probably felt that they wanted, I don't know why, but they didn't, but they probably may have felt that the security of having a home, as it were, for the council was better than trying to cut the lease, because if you put in a break clause, you're inviting the tenant, the landlord, to put in market increases in rent, which they haven't done in the last 11 years. I think if they try to do that, I think that's where there may well be difficulties. But at the moment, it works out for both sides. The real matter is had we known that Mr. Radford was going to die and leave us all his money, we probably, within 7 years or 8 years, we would probably have gone for a 10-year lease. And that was it. But hindsight is a great thing. It gives you perfect 2020 vision, and we are where we are. The alternatives are, if I mean, in this report is saying it's gone over old ground to some extent, is if you want Radford House to be the town hall, then, and you want to get shot of Custom House, then you're going to have to put in a substantial sum of money to get Tenley, the owners of Custom House, to give up their lease. They'll probably actually insist that there would be some kind of guarantee for a considerable period of time. So I'm not absolutely sure. I mean, if the instruction is to go back to Tenley and say, we will pay you whatever just to get out of this, then fine, I can do that. On the other hand, it does suit us. We've got nowhere for the VIC because that can't go to Radford House. It isn't really suitable for that sort of thing. And the VIC is very important in the visitor economy. And also we have to decide who we're going to, how you're going to get a building which is not massive to take all of the staff and all their activities, and to put up with the many community activities that are about to fall upon us. I mean, it's going to operate as Radford House is going to operate as a polling centre in a few weeks' time. I've been asked about it being used as a test centre for COVID tests, and the world and his wife are coming to the door wanting to use it for community purposes. I personally think you're paddling against the tide of community and residents' opinion about what Radford House is. I think to everybody else in the outside world, Radford House is a community hub, end of. If you want to persuade them otherwise, you guys have got to do it and find some way to do it and cough up a load of money in order to achieve that objective. So
thank you, Richard.
That's where you have it.
Yeah, thank you, Richard, for that. Members, I open the debate up on as to what you think could be or should be a way forward. Councillor Crittenden, you got your hand up.
Yeah, I wanted to ask what is meant by substantial. When Richard says it would cough up a substantial amount of money, what does he think substantial means?
Probably at least 5 years rent. That's £250,000, something like that. £240,000. 200,000 at least. Yeah, maybe more. I have no idea what they would ask, and they might well put in a guarantee for at least 10 years. So if they've got people coming in, I mean, you can sublet it. We can sublet the entire building if that's what you want, but we will still have it.
Okay, I've got thank you, Richard. I've got two other speakers. I wasn't sure who was first, so I'm going with ladies first. Becky.
Thanks, Chair. I don't think it was me, but
Oh, okay.
I think it was before me. But yeah, what do we actually draw as an income from the Customs House at the moment, Richard? Because obviously the restaurant's there, and the restaurant would have been operating at a massive capacity because of lockdown. But it seems we've got a chance to offset some of those costs, which would make things a little easier for us.
Well, yes, except you can't guarantee. I mean, the cost of operating Custom House is cut down with the fact that we get, I think it's, I can't remember now. The R&I operates in there, and they pay 6,000 to 8,000 a year. The cafe again is very similar, about 10,000 a year. So you've got about 16,000, 18,000 pounds a year, which comes in as rent for Custom House. Also, if we started charging a little bit for the use of the chamber when it's not used, we could probably, I mean, we were originally getting, I think Eileen will confirm, we were getting probably around 25,000 pounds a year in rents and hire charges at one time. But people start giving away, well, shall we say, the council started giving away free time to various organisations, and so on and so forth. So that because they wanted it as a community area. I'm not absolutely sure that's such a great idea. But if you wanted to maintain, you know, we could keep going for 100 years or 110 years just by doing that, and it would minimise the cost, and you'd still got a good building there which you can use for all sorts of things. And I think it does suit the council to have meetings there. Certainly, I mean, and Radford House, with all due respect to it, it's going to be a year or two before it's going to be fit for purpose. It's going to be cold, it's going to be miserable with all the building work that's going to be done to it. So you're going to need to keep another building going for at least two to 3 years anyway.
Thank you.
David?
Yeah, I'd ask you not to underestimate the importance of the VIC. The VIC was part of the reason for going to the Custom House in the first place.
Exactly.
Because TDD had just shut down their presence in Ramsgate, which horrified us. The Custom House is a superb building for a town hall. It's historic. It's in superb condition. during the period I was mayor, I was actually proud to invite visitors to that building, and I think image is important. So I would be very reluctant to leave there. The VIC, of course, also acts as a reception for the town council. So that's a cost that we would have to bear if we went somewhere else. So my view is that we should retain the custom house and be pleased that we've got it.
Thank you, David. Jane?
Well, actually, I was going to pretty much say what David was saying. I mean, it seems Radlett House we got some very good feedback from the community in relation to what they wanted from Radlett House. With community activities used for various groups, artists, the space being used, which we've used it very successfully for fairs and stuff like that. That's a kind of separate issue, I feel, and the Customs House is a separate issue from Radlett House. And I think we should retain the Customs House.
Thank you, Jane. Is there anybody else? Can you put your hands down if you've already spoken?
I've got my hand up a second time. That's why mine's still up.
Okay. Helen?
Yeah, I wanted to, again, I was going to say very much the same as David said. I'm 100% behind staying in Customs House. I believe that it has a certain gravitas that I think does serve the council well as a building. The Visitor Information Centre, the role they play in reception. I do think, picking up on what Richard said about higher charges, that we might be able to recoup a little bit of our expenditure with it, but its location and the harbour and everything else is just perfect for a town council, and I completely support staying there.
Thank you, Helen. Is there anybody? Pat?
Hello. I agree with both that I think we should keep Customs House. It's an iconic building and we should take care of it. Make sure we always have something nice. Thank you.
Thank you, Pat. Lovely to see you back. Is there anybody else who wants to speak? I'll take the silence as a no. Sorry, have I missed someone? No. I will therefore propose from the chair that Ramsgate Town Council remains for its meetings and holding Ramsgate Town Council meetings at the Customs House, and that Radford House is used for what it was meant for and designed for, and that's to be a community hub. So I will propose that. Is there a seconder, please?
Seconded.
Thank you. So can I take a vote on this? All those in favour of remaining at Customs House?
Well, yes.
3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, those against. It's easier to go against. Anybody against? I probably can't see all of you, but is there anybody against if you speak?
Chair, do we not need to record this vote?
Well, I mean, I don't know if you need to record it. I mean, so long as this is something just effectively for for Ramsgate Town members to decide where they want to hold their meetings. I mean, if you want a recorded vote, by all means.
It's just confusing because you just asked people to vote for, but we weren't instructed on how to vote for, whether it was touch our hands or put our hands up. Because I can only see you and me, so I can't see anybody else.
I mean, I'm lucky enough to see 9 people. So
I think it's because I'm a guest. If you're a guest, you have restricted view,
but as a guest, you still have a right to vote, Becky. So
you do, but I wasn't told how to vote. That's what I'm saying.
I can't tell you how to vote. I can't tell you how to vote. You have to vote how you want to vote.
I agree with Becky. I didn't know how to vote. You counted presumably hands that were up, but as I didn't know I was putting my hand up, you didn't count me because I didn't put my hand up.
And then-
Because
Okay, let me do this another way then. Let me say to you, for all those who don't agree with the motion, can you please say that you don't? Right, no one's saying they don't agree with the motion, so therefore the motion is carried. So thank you very, very much for that, members. Sorry, Becky, if you confused you, I beg your pardon. Okay, move on to item 5, which is the Custom House end of lease agreement for the old Custom House coffee shop and restaurant.
Chairman, just before we go, I think in the report I also mentioned that I've been onto the Architectural Heritage Foundation, and they're looking to have a steering. They've asked us, suggested nicely, being they're going to give us 50-odd thousand pounds, that we form a working group, and that there should be non-council members within it, because a working group can have non-council members. I've got 3 of the usual suspects who have all agreed to do it. That is Jenny Dawes, John Walker and Rob Kenyon. You know Rob, I think, when you worked there at TDC.
Yes, I have a difficulty with that,
Chairman.
Yes,
I did too, but there you go.
Town Council. I'm very happy for Jenny Dawes and for John Walker.
Right.
To be part of that. I think two is enough.
Okay.
And perhaps 3 members, if members would agree to that. Do you think that that's right? So we have three council members and 2 guests to be able to give their input.
Okay, right.
Can I speak, Chair?
Yes, please. Yes, please,
well,
Becky.
This building is a community for the whole community, and we've already got 2 people who've previously been on working parties, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but it's not necessarily a good thing. I believe we should have 4 people on that working party, and we should now put out an appeal to ask for 2 others from amongst the community that have never been involved in this to come on board, because if you choose the same people as we've always chosen, there is going to be a bit of an uproar, and I'll be part of that uproar. I think we've got to open it up wider to see what new blood comes onto these committees.
Fair enough. David, did you want to speak?
Yeah, just to agree with that, really. I think we should put out a call so we're not seen to be favouring the usual suspects. Okay. And I think when we've got a list of people that want to be involved, we should make the decision in confidence, not in public.
Okay. Fair comment. Richard, can you sort that?
Yes. I mean, the working group doesn't have to all meet in one fell swoop. You can have people in at particular different times, so it doesn't have to meet as some kind of massive committee type of thing, and it can also meet virtually like this rather than having to turn up to formal meetings. But I can arrange all that. I'll have something put into the Isle of Thanet News and on our website and etc. and on social media that we're asking for volunteers to put their names forward. The AHF is looking for people with some knowledge of buildings or some special knowledge that they can provide. There's no point just having anybody.
No, but if you can put that out, then
I can do that.
That would be
okay.
fine.
I will do that.
What's the CV?
Well, yes. Okay, I will. Yes.
Well, give reasons. Call it what you like, but
yes.
500 words on why you want to be on the committee.
Oh no.
and your experience.
Just a rough resume of their abilities, shall we say?
Yeah, exactly. Otherwise, we'll be here until next year.
we need some some reason for choosing people.
Yes,
we do.
And we need a balance of skills and experience.
Yeah,
we'll
do it.
cut through a bit of crap, don't we? Let's face it.
Leave it to me. I'll sort something out. Okay.
Good.
Lovely jubbly. Okay, thank you, Richard.
Yep.
Right, we can move on.
Before we move on, Chair, I know we've just decided that we'll meet at the Custom House, but we may have to modify that because of COVID restrictions.
Yeah.
May we not?
We may, but I think there is. I think the government has said that all council meetings should be held in person. I think after May. I can't remember what the date is.
May 6th.
May the 6th, is it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, and unless that changes, then I think that we can do that. So, but as you say, David, maybe we would then need to. We then need to see who's going to turn up and who's not, and how many is going to be present to ensure that we can remain as safe as possible.
Yep.
Okay. Can we move on to item 5, please, which is the Custom House end of lease agreement of the old Custom House coffee shop and restaurant. And Richard, can I pass to you just to give members a resume of what's happened?
Yeah, these were the former tenants, not the present tenants, who left. They stripped the coffee shop, well, the restaurant, and left quite a lot of damage. And so they were a bit short on the rent as well. And they went very quickly. Christmas 2 years ago, after a lot of toing and froing, which was obviously held up by COVID. We put them a bill in for over 30,000, but we knew they were never going to pay it. And your instructions to me were that we should go for as much money as we can get, but not go to court or take any legal action. So this is the final outcome. It's taken a lot of toing and froing. 13,000, I think, is what he's offered, and he's paid the first payment. He knows now we've got a legal agreement. If he doesn't pay, or they don't pay, we get interest, and also we can take them for the whole lot, and we will we literally can go to court and get a judgment against them, which they won't want to do. So hopefully the matter is settled. It's not ideal. They did far more damage than that, but I don't think there's much in it for us to carry on trying to get any more.
Thank you, Richard. I have to say that I have been in conversation with Richard in relation to this, and I did agree with Richard that we should come to this settlement. But obviously, members, it's entirely up to you. And obviously, this is why I've asked it to come to members. So, members, any want to discuss it or have any comments? Helen?
I've lost my hand on my screen for some reason. I just wanted to say that I will agree and support the recommendation. I remember being part of the original discussions, and we wanted a reasonable and best outcome, and I think that will be it. So I would support it. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
Jane?
Yeah, I mean, I can't see any point in us going through the courts with this. For what we'd achieve, it would be negligible. So I think this is the best outcome too, actually.
Thank you, Jane. Anybody else? Okay. So there is a proposal that that the council accepts this payments of up to £13,000. And as Richard has said, the first payment was done on the 1st of April, Richard?
Yes.
It was. So that's already in our account. So instead of saying, is there anybody all in favour, can I ask, is there anybody against this? No. So thank you. That is carried. Thank you. So so that matter is dealt with. And of course, if there is any non-payment or long-term non-payment, then we will bring this back to members. Thank you, members. That actually concludes the meeting this evening. So I thank you for that. And the next meeting we have, I understand, is the planning and infrastructure meeting on next Wednesday. Jane, you wanted to?
No, sorry. Let's get up. Sorry, I'm going to get it down again. Don't
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, David.
You said I could raise the request.
Oh, yes. I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon, David. Yeah, sorry, it's been a long day, one way or another, David. Yes, please do.
We've had a request that I've circulated to the chair and to Richard, I think, and to Eileen, from Ramsgate Arts, who apparently are going to lose their building, and after all the COVID shutdowns, I think they're short of money as well. They're looking for a temporary venue. I don't know whether it's just to store their equipment or whether it's more than that. And I asked the chair whether we could consider finding them a room somewhere. That's all I know. So I'm really asking the chair to contact them and discuss exactly what they need.
Yeah, I haven't got a problem with that, David. If we can see if we can help, if we can give Richard, have you got the details of Ramsgate Arts?
I wasn't copied in, but Eileen was, and so
Okay.
I'll speak to Eileen about it. I'm going to see her tomorrow, I think it's all right to give it something for nothing while the building work's going on. But I think in the long term we should try and avoid that, because the idea is for Radford House to at least wash its face in some shape or form for the future.
I don't know whether it was for nothing. I don't know any more than what I've told you.
Well, I'll talk to them and see what they want, and see if it's just storage space, we can probably, there is room up there, so it's not a problem. Yeah. But it's going to be temporary 4 or 5 months while the building work, before the building work starts. But when that happens, everything's got to come out, and there's going to be a right old mess. And we might be able to shift stuff around a bit, but there will be, I can't promise a long-term sort of arrangement.
No, well, let's Richard, if we can just find out exactly what they want. And then I can you can contact me, let me know, and then we'll
I will do. I'll get on to it.
Work out. Jane, you wanted to?
Yeah, are we talking about Ramsgate Arts in Harbour Street?
Yes.
There on the hub, yeah. Yeah,
I spoke to Gemma, who is the new, she's taken over from Madeline, because Madeline's got long COVID, because she wrote to me. And they are after a couple of shops. I don't know whether they mentioned that to you, David, that they made some inquiries into a couple of shops. So I don't know quite where we are with this, but I am speaking to her tomorrow. So I'll try and establish what it is that they really want now.
Okay, Jane, that's fantastic. If you could pass that on to Richard, that'd be fair.
Yeah, I will do. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, anybody else? Anything on?
Just one thing, Chairman.
Becky.
Yes, sorry, Becky.
Becky's got a hand up.
Me, Chair. I mean, Gemma also emailed me as well, and they are a provision that we should be trying to support in whatever way we can, really feasibly in the short term. I think they are going to try and keep going. They've had a big impact, particularly with some of our most vulnerable people. So I do think we should be trying to do whatever we can. I don't know whether part of their problem is trying to find out what shops are available. So maybe Rebecca, the town promoter, can help with that, because I think she's done a bit of a database. So I think, if we can establish what sort of position they're in and what their future is, then maybe we can work out how we can help them short term and then long term.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Becky, for that, because, I've gone past there on several occasions and seen some of the work that they're doing with some disabled people and stuff like that. So, it's very, very worthwhile. So, if we can support them, I'm very in favour of that. Yeah. Okay. Anybody else?
Just one last thing. I had another request from Vidi to use our parking facilities at Radford House. As I was instructed not to allow them to do it again, I said to them, as it ends on the 1st of April, we cannot extend it any further. It's gone on for 2 years anyway, so I think we've more than been fair with it.
Time out.
Yeah.
End of.
I just thought I'd tell you formally.
Thank you ever so much, everybody, and enjoy the rest of your evening.
Cheerio.
Thank you. Bye-bye.